By the light, you must be freezing. Come inside, traveler, come on. Welcome to the Crookback Inn. You can kick your boots off and have a seat by the hearth, friend. My name's Kane. Pleased to meet you. You've actually come at a good time. You see, I'm a lawmaster, and I was just about to tell the lovely people of this tavern a story. Care to listen in? Very good. Alright everyone, gather around. I've quite the story for you today, but to tell it, we must go back. Back to the birth of time itself, to the spark that set in motion all events to come after. Yes, friends, let me take you back to the creation of our creators, the gods of this universe. Perhaps you know their name well. These beings of unfathomable power. The Titans. In the eternity before eternity, there was naught but two eternal forces, both equal and opposite to each other. The light and the dark. The two were constantly warring with one another, pushing and battling, creating a tension so great that it one day birthed a miracle. Under the infinite pressure of a war older than time, something new was created. The cosmos were born in a great explosion of light, shadow, and matter. From this explosion, glimmering shards imbued with the benevolent power of the light were flung across the great expanse of the universe, each eventually crossing paths with a world. Now these worlds were not of the sort you and I know today. These worlds were husks, great empty planets until they were lucky enough to encounter these shards of light. But as one met the other, this combination of the primordial matter, which was birthed along with the cosmos, and the magnificent power of the light, brought to life the first world soul. For eons this world soul gathered its strength, hoping to one day overcome its static form, until at last, it did. The world twisted inward and grasped at its very heart, and upon reaching it, the world unraveled into the colossal form of a man, the first Titan. The first Titan of many, he would come to be known as aman'thul, wisest of the Titans and High Father of Time. For untold millennia aman'thul roamed the universe in search of more beings, for he knew that others like himself must exist out there somewhere, and in time he was proven right. In his travels, aman'thul had found 6 healthy world souls, and he nurtured each until they were strong enough to form themselves into their titanic bodies. The first was Norganon, master of knowledge and magic. Then came Golganeth, father of sea giants and lord of the roaring waves and sky. There was fair Aenar, protector of life and nature. After her came Khaz'goroth, the forger of mountains and valleys. Then there was noble Agramar, whose heroism and courage were legendary. Finally, there was Sargeras, who, while being the strongest of the Titans, would go on to become legendary for much more than that. But we'll get to that. These 7 mighty Titans formed the Pantheon, an order dedicated to exploring the immeasurable universe, and explore it they did. Along the way, the Pantheon discovered many world souls who had not yet assumed their true forms as Titans, but had instead created intelligent races and beings to inhabit their planetary bodies. Some the Titans had left be, to grow and thrive uninterrupted, as they had already been for thousands of years. Counted among these groups of beings were the ancient Eridar of Argus. On other worlds, the Pantheon tried their own hand at creation. On Draenor, for example, did you know that Agramar is responsible for the creation of the orcs? It's quite the story, really. But for another time, let's not get off track. Let's see now, where was I? Oh, right. While in our universe, life was growing and thriving. In another dimension, just beyond our grasp, but close enough to touch, festered a threat to this benevolent cycle. From the twisting nether, the demons emerged from portals across the universe and wrought havoc on every world they touched, destroying all life they encountered. Naturally, the Pantheon inevitably caught wind of this invasion, but by the time they had found out about it, so many lights in the universe had already been extinguished. Too many. And had been replaced by the blistering corruption of the demon's source of power. The Fel. This vile green magic brought death and decay to all things it met. Whole worlds, once thriving and happy, brought to ruin and burned to ash. The Titans would have no more of this horror, for they could not stand to see the worlds they worked millennia to shape be destroyed in mere decades. Sargeras, noble and strong, was elected by the Pantheon to eliminate this demonic threat with the courageous Agramar at his side. For ages the two of them would combat the enemy, travelling from galaxy to galaxy. They conquered the untamed armies of demons with ease, battling shoulder to shoulder. The power of the Fel was strong, of course, but no match for the might of Titans. This strategy failed, though, in the end, for the demons were of the twisting nether and could not be permanently slain in any dimension apart from their own. So Sargeras created a world to imprison them instead, and placed a magical seal on it. Mardum, it was called. After this planet was complete, the two champions of the Pantheon decided to go their separate ways, to dispatch of the demons faster. And so they went. With each blow struck against the Fel, neither Titan ever wavered in their devotion to the Pantheon. Each stayed true to their purpose, never doubting themselves, never knowing fear, until Sargeras encountered something different. Something he hadn't seen before. A great mass of shadow. A writhing monstrosity. It was once a world, though unrecognizable as one. He sensed something at its core. An entity with the potential to wipe out the Pantheon and all of existence in a single stroke. A Titan, corrupted by the void. In that moment, after eons of dauntlessness, the Titan felt absolute and all-consuming fear. With a roar which shook the stars themselves, Sargeras cleaved the broken soul in two, killing it and shattering the world around it. Afraid of what one corrupted Titan soul could have meant for the universe, he brought the news of his discovery to the seat of the Pantheon and expressed the terror he had felt at the hands of it. The Pantheon did not understand, for how could they? They simply could not comprehend a feeling that they had never felt for themselves. The Pantheon only scolded Sargeras for acting rashly. They believed he should not have destroyed the world before the rest of them could try to cleanse it. Sargeras pleaded with the other Titans to see what was at stake, that they had to destroy all life in the universe, for no life is better than nothing at all. The Pantheon did not see things from Sargeras' point of view, though. So frustrated and afraid, Sargeras left the Pantheon, to wander the cosmos and ponder on what must be done. It was during Sargeras' time in isolation that the Pantheon discovered an especially interesting world soul. It was magnificent, and larger than any that the Pantheon had previously seen. It housed a power that would transcend them all, and perhaps stand against the evil that Sargeras had warned them of. With the prospects of cultivating the ultimate Titan, the Pantheon began their work on the planet, populating it with their greatest creations. This world the Titans dubbed Azeroth. As the Pantheon's work was nearing its completion, somewhere in the great expanse of space, Sargeras' mind unraveled. In his isolation, he was left to bask in his fear with no one to rectify his doubts. It was in this state of mind that Sargeras reached his final verdict. Life must end for the universe to survive. He gathered his strength and traveled to Mardoom, the prison he'd once created to house the infinite armies of the Nether. With its many years of serving this purpose, the atmosphere beneath the seal had become bloated with noxious fell energies, and the demons living on the surface had become restless. With a single mighty blow, Sargeras destroyed the seal containing them. But immediately, the fell engulfed him. His skin peeled away and he let loose an agonizing roar. The fell fire ate his body and soul, stripping from him his noble titanic form. The demons of Mardoom looked on with excitement, hoping this great power would vanquish their captor. But eventually the mass of fell energy dispersed, and the demons' jubilation turned to terror. A monstrous figure of fire and death was revealed, and the demons cowered. The combined power of Mardoom intended to slay him, but he had absorbed all of it. The demons would submit to his will, for his power was greater than anything they could comprehend. This was the beginning of Sargeras, the Dark Titan, and his burning crusade.